Let's just move now to the other big story we're looking at this evening. Section 66A of the IT Act is back, and again this time it's been used for a politician. A civil liberties activist in Andhra Pradesh has been arrested on Sunday, sent to jail for 12 days by a court, apparently because she used objectionable language against a Congress MLA. Though she is charged with this, she has applied for bail and apparently has got it. But the big worry, however, is the extreme overreaction, because her comments were personal. They may well have been objectionable. That's still, of course, a matter of debate. But there was no larger threat to communal harmony or any issue of the sort. Why is there this overreaction every time it involves a politician, even though the centre had claimed to put safeguards in place? Joining me tonight on that is Sudha Ramalingam from Chennai. She's a senior advocate, also an activist of the People's Union for Civil Liberties, which Jaya belongs to. I'm also joined by Abid Rasool Khan of the Congress, from Andhra Pradesh, spokesperson of the party, and Kabir Bedi, well-known actor and of course online activist as well. But let's just look first at that story and why this woman was arrested and is spending the night in jail tonight.
Jaya Vindyala, president of the Andhra Pradesh unit of PUCL, or the People's Union for Civil Liberties, was arrested on Sunday afternoon for alleged defamatory comments on a social networking site against Congress MLA from Chirala in Prakasam district, A. Krishna Mohan. The MLA had complained to the police on the 18th of April.
The question being asked even by those who do not support the comments made by Jaya Vindyala is whether the same kind of promptness would have been shown by the Prakasam district police to come all the way from Prakasam district to Secunderabad to arrest the activist on a Sunday afternoon if the complaint had not been made by a powerful politician.
Leader of opposition Chandrababu Naidu says the arrest is a reflection of misuse of power by the ruling Congress leaders.
For small cases, big cases, if you go through these, they are not taking any action. They are misusing power like anything. We totally condemn the attitude of the government.
The case highlights the grey area of 66A from the misogynist abuse in Kerala, where 120 people were questioned for harassing a Congress leader who defended PJ KURIEN, to the repressive crackdown by cops on the Palghar girls for merely questioning Mumbai's shutdown after Thakre's death, to the Puducherry businessman who was held for an offensive tweet against Chidambaram's son. When it comes to the controversial IT Act, do the cops always jump the gun? In Hyderabad, Uma Sudhir, NDTV.
This, of course, in the Supreme Court had also taken up this matter. Sudha Ramalingam, if you can come in, what would you say about this? Uma raised some important points. The policeman coming from Prakasam district to Secunderabad to arrest her on a Sunday afternoon when there's no chance of getting immediate bail. She's got bail today but has to spend another night in jail because of formalities. What would you term this arrest?
I will call it as atrocious simply, and also it shows how the state has become so narrow-minded, oppressive, and also cannot take criticism at all. People in public life will have to be ready to face public criticism too, whether what she said was right or wrong, but to arrest this woman is definitely wrong, and it is beyond also what the Supreme Court says. Supreme Court guidelines very clearly state bail and not jail should be the rule. And what was the necessity and the urgency to arrest a woman who is an advocate and a very responsible person, who is also a president of a national organization, People's Union for Civil Liberties? She is not going to run away, and she is a practicing advocate. She has already also filed a writ petition telling the court that she apprehends such a repressive act against her by the state, and the court has already ordered notice to the state. So where was the question of arresting her at all?
I think in fact, Mr. Khan, I'll come back to you. I want Kabir Bedi's view on that. I think the point Sudhaji raised very importantly, the act by the state. It's seen here that attacking this MLA, let me say again that it may be true, it may not be true, it may even be objectionable, it may be defamatory. But why don't simple laws of defamation apply to this? It's not against communal harmony, it's not against the state. Why is it that the power of the state has come down? And that's the larger message which we should worry about. Go ahead, Mr. Bedi.
Sonia, as far as I'm concerned, every single time there's a law that's vaguely worded or capable of misuse, it will be misused by people as well as the police, and by anyone wanting to seek any kind of revenge, vendetta, etc. Now, the problem here is that Section 66A has lumped together a number of things. Now, some of those things should be criminalized, some really should not. Under 66A, if I send anything that's you consider offensive, I could go to jail for up to 3 years. Forget offensive. Anything that causes annoyance, inconvenience, anything I deem insulting. So, you know, freedoms aren't absolute. I mean, people even in the real world do not have the freedom to shout fire in a crowded film theater. So there are some restrictions on that, but that restriction has to do with larger public safety, larger public good, and a larger public interest. This particular definition lumps together everything from threats and criminal intimidation, which should be taken care of, to anything that I find annoying or insulting, etc. The result is I can be imprisoned for calling somebody an idiot in the same way as if I threatened to kill them. And this kind of law and misapplication of law is wide open if the law is worded so vaguely that it can be applied against anyone in any situation depending on how the receiver of this mail perceives it. So my basic point is the laws on the internet that we formulate should be the same as the laws on the ground. No. Why don't people sue for libel rather than using 66A to imprison an advocate over a weekend? I mean, it's really a great example of the misuse that can happen with law when the law itself is worded so badly that it opens itself to such abuse.
In fact, ironically, Mr. Abid Rasul Khan, if you can come in here, you're from Andhra Pradesh as well. We know that the centre has said that there's no need to actually amend this law. They say they would put in safeguards into place. It would have to be an arrest by a DCP would have to clear it or an IG clear it. What's happened in this case? She may have said something offensive again against this MLA, but surely it was not something which justified this kind of arrest.
Basically, the information I have on this particular issue, which I could gather, Sonia, is that there was something written about the governor of Tamil Nadu, His Excellency Rosia ji, and this particular MLA, and there is a sort of difference of opinion between these two people going on for months together, which culminated in his filing a complaint when it became very personal. Now, as far as PUCL is concerned, and I know they have been doing good work for the oppressed and depressed, so there is no way that the government will try to victimize an organization. But in this particular case, the MLA has filed a complaint on 18/4. After that, I think the police has collected the evidences.
You summed it up. It's become personal. It's about what she's saying against his MLA, whatever it may be. I don't want to repeat it or whatever. Yeah. Whatever it may be, yeah. He can file for defamation. He can. Why does she have to be arrested on a Sunday afternoon? Yeah, she spent 2 nights in jail for saying something personal about this person. Even if she said it against the governor, 2 nights in jail already. Sonia,
when there is a law available, the person who is filing a complaint will only file a complaint. He will not file a complaint against under this act or that act. He will just say what's happening and where he is being aggrieved and what is going wrong against him and how it is. And after that, the police is the right authority, or the law is a court is the right authority to put the particular sections in place. In this case, as Mr. Kabir Bedi was saying, that 66A has a very wide ramifications and parameters which cannot be judged, because I was also reading through the law, and everything which is written, or basically if it is slightly abusive or slightly hurting anybody, it can be treated as an act under this particular law, and the cases can be booked. So there should be a wider debate on this law, and definitely, as Mr. Kapil Sibal had told earlier, that we need to discuss it and get parameter.
No, there was actually a wider debate, sir, and the centre assured after the Facebook incident, the Palghar girls, the centre assured something that this wouldn't happen again. In that sense, Sudha Ramalingam, this incident is even more serious, because you made that point. It tracks someone who's a senior leader of an organization like PUCL. The message it sends out. The irony I wanted to ask is on police response, because I know PUCL will often go to cases of police inaction, police ignoring complaints, police not registering FIRs, and the contrast with how the police has acted here. Do you find that the most ironic?
Yes, definitely it is ironic. I would like to say that Section 66A itself is a very, very subjective provision. If the person perceives it to be harmful or defamatory or anything else, they can move the state for action, and the action would be very drastic. It provides for non-bailable offence and also a cognizable offence. So what happens is the state is given wide powers with a subjective subject. So what happens is, if a state is going to be vindictive or if it wants to help a person, a complainant, so immediately they can use this as a repressive measure. And I'm definite PUCL is now thinking about also challenging this provision in the Supreme Court. It is a very long drawn process, but having said that, I think the state should also have its own norms set to ensure that these fundamental rights of freedom of expression and also that of assembly, which is being curtailed day to day, is put in place, and they have a set norm which they would not trespass on,
They were
and
meant to actually have
ensure
them, in
that
fact,
these rights are being protected.
Exactly, the sense of Deshmukh, this is exactly what they were meant to have in place. This is what Kapil Sibal assured us that they would be in place. Let's see if the telecom minister actually intervenes now, and hopefully she will be out on bail tomorrow. But thank you very much for joining us tonight. A quick discussion on a very important topic. We will keep following the story, but we're completely out of time. Thanks very much.